clicked anyway. Now there's no turning back.
Faces in the Dark, Prologue. The rule of the dark. If you ever wake up in the dead of night, your body pinned to the mattress by an invisible weight, your lungs struggling for air, do not open your eyes. Science calls it sleep paralysis. A simple misfire of the brain waking up before the body. But science cannot explain why, across different cultures, centuries, and continents, everyone sees the exact same thing standing in the corner of the room. Maya Lin didn't believe in the supernatural. She believed in pixels, audio waveforms, and hard data. But by the time she realized her mistake, the things in the dark were already looking back at her. ACTI, dead pixels. The glow of the dual monitors cast a pale, sickly light over Maya's cramped apartment. It was 3:14 a.m. The air was thick with the smell of stale coffee and ozone from her overworked hard drives. Maya was a freelance archival restorer. Her job was to take dead media, rotting VHS tapes, corrupted digital files, and bring them back to life for documentaries. Her current project was a batch of unmarked tapes from the late 1980s, recovered from the basement of an abandoned psychiatric facility in upstate New York. "Just static," Maya muttered, rubbing her burning eyes. She dragged the scrubber across the timeline on her editing software. The video was a mess of gray snow and tracking lines. But the audio was what made the hair on her arms stand up. Beneath the harsh hiss of white noise, there was a rhythmic, wet sound. Shuslap. 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 Like bare feet dragging across linoleum. Maya applied a noise reduction filter and boosted the vocal frequencies. She hit play. The static parted just enough for a voice to bleed through the speakers. A raspy, frantic whisper. They only come when you look for them. A chill raced down Maya's spine. She paused the video. As the frame froze, the digital artifacts, the blocky, pixelated glitches in the static seemed to cluster together. Maya leaned closer to the monitor. In the upper right corner of the frozen frame, hidden in the shadows of the video, was a face that was distorted, its jaw stretched open impossibly wide in a silent scream, its eyes nothing but hollow, black voids. Maya gasped, pushing her rolling chair back so fast it slammed into her bed frame. She blinked, her heart hammering against her ribs. She looked back at the screen. The face was gone. Just standard VHS snow. "You're exhausted, Maya," she whispered to herself. She saved the project, shut down her monitors, and collapsed onto her bed, not even bothering to change out of her clothes. The room plunged into absolute, suffocating darkness.
What was that noise? No, dog moving!
ACT2, the wait. Maya awoke to the sound of her own heart that was a slow, terrifying rhythm. Thump, thump, thump. She tried to sit up, but her body refused to obey. Panic flared in her chest. Her arms were glued to her sides, her legs heavy as lead. She couldn't even turn her head. Sleep paralysis, she told herself. Just breathe. It will pass. The room was pitch black, lit only by the faint, amber glow of a street lamp slicing through the window blinds. Then, the temperature in the room plummeted. Maya's breath plumed into visible white mist above her face. From the darkest corner of her bedroom right next to her closet came a sound. Shuslap. Shuslap. Bare feet on her hardwood floor. Maya's eyes darted frantically toward the sound, the only part of her body she could move. A shadow detached itself from the darkness. It was impossibly tall, its limbs elongated and unnatural, moving with a jerky, stop-motion twitch. It crept to the foot of her bed. Maya tried to scream, but her vocal cords were paralyzed. Only a pathetic, strangled squeak escaped her lips. The entity slowly leaned over the edge of the mattress. As it moved into the sliver of amber light, Maya saw its face. It was the same face from the tape. The jaw unhinged, hanging low against its chest, the empty eye sockets locked onto hers. It didn't attack. It just stood there, inches from her feet, staring. Suddenly, the pressure lifted. Maya gasped, throwing herself backward against the headboard, blindly slapping the wall until she hit the light switch. The room flooded with harsh, warm light. She was completely alone.
What is that? No, stay back! This can't be real!
ACT-3, frame by frame. The next morning, Maya didn't sleep. Fueled by adrenaline and paranoia, she sat back at her desk. She needed to know she was just losing her mind. She needed proof that the face was just a trick of the light. She opened the project file. She went to the exact timestamp, 00:14:32:11. She isolated the frame. She adjusted the contrast, brought up the shadows, and sharpened the edges. Her blood ran cold. It wasn't just one face. As the shadows lightened on her monitor, the background of the room in the video revealed dozens of them. Pale, distorted faces, all crammed together in the dark corners, all staring directly into the camera lens. But that wasn't the worst part. Maya noticed the furniture in the background of the video. A distinctive, wrought iron bed frame. A desk with dual monitors. A half-open closet door. The video wasn't from a 1980s asylum. It was her bedroom. The camera perspective was from the top corner of her ceiling, looking down at her as she sat at her desk. Maya froze. Her hands hovered over the keyboard. If the footage was of her, right now, where were the faces? Slowly, agonizingly, Maya turned her head away from the monitors, looking into the shadowed corners of her own apartment. The shadows weren't empty. They were packed with them. Tall, gray, weeping figures, crammed against the ceiling, standing shoulder to shoulder in her hallway. Hanging upside down from the light fixtures. They had always been there. In the dark. Watching. And now that she had brightened the footage, now that she had seen them, they knew she could see them. Every single head in the room snapped toward her in unison.
The face is watching. Your eyes are critical.
What is that?
ACT-4, the render. Maya bolted for the door, but the shadows seemed to bleed out, swallowing the light. The bulbs overhead shattered with a deafening pop. Absolute darkness. Maya tripped over her chair, crashing hard onto the floor. Pain shot through her knee, but adrenaline forced her to crawl. She reached out blindly for the door handle, but her fingers brushed against something cold, leathery, and wet. A hand wrapped around her wrist. Instantly, her muscles locked. The paralysis wasn't in her sleep anymore. It was awake. It was real. She collapsed onto her back, pinned to the floorboards by an invisible, crushing weight. Shuslap. Shuslap. They were circling her. Dozens of them. The tall one with the unhinged jaw knelt beside her head. It leaned in so close she could smell the rot on its breath like old dust, rust, and damp earth. Maya's eyes were wide open, tears streaming down her cheeks. The entity brought a long, gray, needle-like finger to its own face, tapping the side of its head. Then, it leaned its hollow mouth directly over Maya's ear. When it spoke, it didn't use an ethereal, demonic voice. It used Maya's own voice. The exact audio she had isolated from the tape. They only come when you look for them, it whispered. The entity's hands reached down, its cold fingers prying Maya's eyelids wider, forcing her to stare into the abyss of its face. And now, you're going to help us look for more. Epilogue, autoplay. 2 weeks later, the YouTube algorithm recommends a video to a bored college student browsing on his phone at 2 a.m. The title is simple: Vintage Archival Footage Restored. He clicks it. The video is just gray snow, tracking lines, and a faint, rhythmic sound. Shuslap. Shuslap. The student yawns, about to click off, when he notices something in the upper right corner of the static. He squints, pulling the phone closer to his face. It's a woman's face. Maya. Her jaw is stretched open impossibly wide in a silent scream, her eyes hollow and black. The student shivers, feeling a sudden, heavy drop in the room's temperature. He turns off his phone, tossing it onto his nightstand, and rolls over to go to sleep. The room is dark. And from the corner of his bedroom, by the closet, comes a sound. Shuslap. Shuslap.
If you love stories that stay with you after midnight, subscribe. More darkness is coming. Now, there's no turning back.